Okay, now when I'm ready to start painting my starry night sky, after I've sketched everything out, I have a few things at my table. I have my tray with my water cup, my 3 colors, blue, yellow, and white. So we are only going to use blue, yellow, and white to paint the whole scene here. That's all we need. And then we have a skinny brush with a skinny top and a rag to clean off our brush on our tray. So I'm going to keep this worksheet at my table the whole time so that I can see the colors that I need to paint my starry night sky. The first thing I think I'm going to start with is the moon and the stars because those are very bright, like a white and a yellow. So I also have a tray that I can mix on if I want to mix up some colors, but I think I'm just going to start with yellow. So I'm just going to dip in my color and I'm going to paint the moon all the way yellow. So I'll start with the moon, paint it all the way yellow, and then each of my stars can have a little yellow dot. Okay, now I'm going to take my yellow and my white and I'm going to kind of go around each of these stars with those little impressionism marks because those yellow and white areas are very, very bright because of the stars. So they should be mostly yellow and mostly white. So I'll start with my yellow, go around each of those stars, and then I can get a little bit of white and start putting some white around each of the stars. I don't even have to wash my brush. I can just mix these colors right together. Because in the real starry night, all these colors are kind of swirling together and mixing up to make new colors. So I'm just going to keep mixing and mixing, and the more colors that I make on my paper, the better. So every time I put a mark down on my paper, I'm really making sure that it looks like those impressionism marks, okay? So they're not little dots, they're actually little tiny dash marks, around each of my stars. Okay, so I'll keep going until I finish each of my stars really, really bright yellow and white. Now I'll do the same thing for the moon. The moon is really, really bright yellow and white, so I'm going to keep going around the moon, really, really bright impressionism marks around the moon. I'm really trying to fill up all my space of my paper. When this is a finished painting, I don't want to see very much of the paper in the end. Okay, I think I'm going to work on the sky now. I'm going to put the stars on hold and work on the sky now. Now the sky of Starry Night is very, very blue. It's some dark blue, some light blue, a little bit of yellow and white flecks all over the place, kind of from the shining moon and the shining stars in the sky. So I think I'll start with blue. I'll start with my dark blue, and I'm just going to start with the swirl here in the middle and start making my impressionism marks all over those little pencil lines that I made. Again, little tiny dash marks over and over. Okay, now I can dip in my white and take a little bit of white because there are some little yellow and white flecks in the sky. So notice as I'm painting my white here, it's kind of mixing with the blue a little bit to make a little bit of a light blue. So it's really great when your colors mix together and you don't really use very much water today. Just mix your colors right together to make new colors. Okay, I'll add a little bit of yellow. And as I add this little bit of yellow, you might notice that it's kind of turning a little bit of a greenish color. That's because blue and yellow makes green. So in Starry Night, we can kind of see a little bit of yellow, but also a little bit of green in there because the blue and yellow paint is mixing. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing this. If I want to use my mixing plate too, I can mix up a few new colors like a light blue, a bluish yellow color. So I can use this to mix up a few colors, some new colors that I can use in my painting. Okay, now I'm going to keep doing this until I fill my whole painting. Notice the colors on Starry Night. Yellow and white in the bright spots. The sky is mostly dark blues and light blues with a couple little yellow and white spots. And the hills down below are very, very dark blue. So if I'm working on the hills down below, I'll pretty much just use some dark blue colors. There's a little bit of white and light blue in there, so I might add a tiny bit of white, little white flecks. And that's okay, but it's mostly dark, dark blue down here. So the spots that the stars and the moon are not shining on, which are the hills down below, those are going to be very dark, but most of the sky is going to be blue and yellow and white. Okay, so I'm going to keep making my marks until I finish my whole painting. Now I'm not wiping anytime. I'm not wiping like this. I'm only using in little tiny marks. The whole painting should look like little tiny marks. So I'm trying to follow my pencil marks. Okay, I think I'll go back and work on my stars now. A little bit more yellow around the stars and white, very shiny and bright spots. I'll go back to my sky. Most of the sky is blue around the stars, so I'll go back and fill in some blue, dark blues and light blues, mixing blue plus white, going around the stars with that blue, filling in the whole sky. All the gray paper is going to be filled up in the end with little tiny marks.